Welcome to Manhwa Recaps, spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Huge shout out and special thanks to the channel members. The manhwa starts with a woman saying that since monsters are approaching, they're looking for new rays of hope, and that this is now everyone's time to become a hero, and they should begin their stories right here and now, and to make sure to call the Hero Association, as we see the billboard playing the ad on top of a building. The woman's looking up at it. Some people in the street say that she's so cute, and it must be a new ad. The other guy asks why she doesn't just go do raids, when she's an A-rank healer, as they haven't heard of her ever being on a raid. We see her sitting there, feeling embarrassed, and we learn that humanity was plunged into chaos with the invasion of monsters, and that humanity had opened their eyes to a new power, and everyone received superpowers, manifesting what we know as aura. The color of the aura told them their power levels, and it became the standard of categorizing these people's ranks. They called these people, who were their only hopes against the monsters, heroes. Looks like a cross between All Might and Batman. A director then yells cut, telling the woman that her face is too serious, as she's meant to be the mascot, and she can't even do the one thing she's here for, which is smiling. She says she'll try again, and that she's sorry, as we see her eyes are devoid of emotion. The director says that she's even prettier when she's smiling, and now she should smile like a mascot should. We learn that her name is Cure Girl. They start filming and taking pictures of her, saying that this is perfect and she should try smiling even wider, and she says this is not the life she wanted as a hero. She had dreamed of it ever since she was young. She manifested her healing powers in middle school, and when she was registered as an A-rank hero, she was overjoyed to finally be up there with her idols. But it did not go as planned. As we see someone spitting up blood, she's doing her best to heal them, and her hand is shaking really bad. As everybody else is bleeding out on the ground, she sits there as the guy's begging, yelling for her to heal, and he looks up at her, saying that she needs to hurry, only for his head to get popped like a zit by a creature. She says that she was paralyzed with fear and couldn't do a single thing during her first actual mission. She was a hero who couldn't even use her skills in the end. The only worthy thing she had was her appearance. Which is why she went from one shoot to the next. She stayed hidden from people because she was afraid that they would notice that she was powerless. As she's walking forward, she bumps into something and looks up, seeing that it's a telephone pole, and it even calls her an idiot. She asks why she's getting flamed by an inanimate object, then hears a weird sound and looks down to see that there's a cat in a box. Saying that it doesn't seem like a street cat. She wonders what kind of terrible person would leave it here, and we see its eyes starting to tear up, and on its collar is the word stronger. She's confused by this and looks over to her side, seeing the stronger Jim. Apparently the translators, or the typesetter had some miscommunication since it's not supposed to be Easy Fun Jim, I believe. I will also refer to it as Stronger Jim 2 for future reference. She says that it must belong there. She heads over, asking if there's anybody here. She pops her head in, saying she has brought the cat from outside. We hear a man telling another one to lift his butt, and the dude says that it hurts and he can't take it anymore. POV, listen to this with your eyes closed. He tells him to endure it because it's only going to hurt for a little bit, and the first time is always like this, and he should just do his best to hold out. The woman sees a very awkward scene and starts to feel very confused. And the guy who is on the floor getting trained is blushing like an absolute freak. He tells someone named Malwang that there is someone here. Malwang turns, which startles her, and she says that she's come to the wrong place, and that they should continue with what they were doing. He stops her before she can close the door and asks if she's a gym baby, telling her not to be scared and to come on in. Bro is really the Tiger King. Hashtag free Joe Exotic. She wonders what's up with his nasty ass tiger outfit, saying it's gross. She is just a hater. She tries to explain that it's because of the cat. And when he looks over, Chad is standing there like an absolute Chad, and we see it with the glasses on, even drinking some coffee. Malwang glances at it, and the cat says it's exactly what he thinks it is. We finally learn the other man's name, and Malwang tells him to go get their customer a serving protein. Kiwung says on it, and the girl is just confused. Malwang then says that her arms are like noodles, and tells her that she must be thirsty. He hands her a cup and then starts inspecting her body. She says that she's not feeling well, and he tells her that her knees are about to give out, and her ankles are way past their expiration date, and she would have been dead had she delayed her visit any longer. He tells her not to worry, as he'll make it very easy for her. She asks what he's talking about, and he starts smiling, asking what she thinks, because he's talking about personal training. She says that she's not here for that. Then, he immediately tells her to hit the squats, and for some reason, she tags along. She tells him to listen, but he doesn't. He gets her to do deadlifts with little dumbbells. He even gets her to do the bench press, telling her that she needs to continue, and he'll give her a 1-minute break now. He says 2 more sets and she'll be done, and she says this guy's not listening to her at all, as it has not even been 10 seconds. Her phone then starts beeping hella loud, and when she picks it up, it starts to shoot out a red light that creates a hologram, saying emergency, and that there is a B-rank monster nearby, and there's only a single hero within the area. She wonders why there's a monster alarm right now. She says it's very close, and she's the only hero here, and she wonders what to do. Her hand's shaking, and she says that even if she were to go, she doesn't know if she could do it. Manhwa asks if she has to shit, because she's shaking. He says the bathroom's on her left, out the door. She tries to explain that's not it. Then decides to herself that it would just be pointless, and he tells her to go. She's surprised by this, and she tries to say that even if she does go, he says that he knows she wants to, and she should just go do that instead of holding back. And she shouldn't regret it later on. She's surprised by how insightful he is. But instead, he was talking about her taking a shit. As he tries to give her some toilet paper, she's already gone. He says that she must have been in a real hurry, and the bathroom is out of toilet paper, so that's gonna be unlucky for her. We see her running down the street until she comes to a stop, as people are screaming about the monster. She looks over at it, saying that there's no other hero here besides her. And we see the B-rank monster called Nanomon, whose real name is Betty. She says that she needs to do what she can. She tells everybody to be careful, not to bump into each other as they're running away, and to stay orderly. As Betty starts to stomp out a girl's life, Cure Girl sees this and is surprised and screams no, as Betty tells her to bite the curb. She says that she is the only one here who can help, and she wonders what she's doing, and that she has to go because she's a hero. She starts gritting her teeth. She says that she just needs to force herself to do it, like when she poses for the camera. Then she hears someone tell her to run. She immediately opens her eyes, dashing forward, grabbing the girl, saving her from Betty's attack. She can't believe that she moved, and as she slides across the ground, Betty looks over at her. She asks the little girl if she's okay, and the girl recognizes her, saying that the monster scared her really bad. As Betty rears back his fist, coming in for an attack, she closes her eyes, afraid. But of course, the Tiger King shows up and hits the monster, sending it flying backward, crashing into a nearby wall. She says that she's glad there was a hero nearby, only for her to be surprised, as Manhwa says, "My goodness," and he starts stretching, telling her not to worry as the alpha male is here. And he told her that the bathroom is on her left, out of the door. Cure Girl yells, telling him to look in front of him, as Betty's coming in for an attack. And it hits Manhwa straight in the face, causing him to spit out blood. This time, he gets sent flying backward, but he manages to just catch himself before he goes too far, and throws a rock, hitting Betty in the face. He then starts to pick up more and throws them one after the other. Betty lets out a scream, coming in for an attack, which Manhwa dodges underneath. Then he blocks the next one with his hands. And Cure Girl is just surprised, she can't see his aura, asking if he is just a normal dude. As Bro is getting his ass whooped, she asks why he would do something so rash, and that he needs to get away because he's going to die. Bro is getting the Loki treatment, as he's getting picked up by his leg and treated like a ragdoll. Manhwa is still smiling, holding his guard up. And then he begins laughing, asking Betty if this is all he's got, calling him a lard ass. Cure Girl wonders if maybe he has some kind of secret weapon. And Manhwa says that Betty could never win against him because of one reason. She starts to smile, thinking he does. And he hits the coolest pose of all time, saying that it's because the A-rank hero Cure Girl is right there. Even the little girl is starting to look up at her. But Cure Girl is just confused, asking what he's talking about. She looks over at Manhwa, still holding the coolest pose of all time, and she asks if the secret weapon is really her. She starts shaking her head because she's anxious. And Manhwa's smile starts to leave, because she's just sitting there, doing nothing, as Betty comes in for an attack. Manhwa gets hitched straight in the face, and Cure Girl says that she's sorry. Bro does hella flips before landing headfirst, and she says that he's gonna die because of her, and she can't stay still forever. She's screaming, trying to get her power to activate, as Manhwa is getting absolutely bodied. Betty starts to come in for an RKO, I take it back. He begins hitting him with the 7-page muda, as Cure Girl is crying, saying that she wants it to work just once. But Betty's attacks go out anyways, destroying the terrain all around. Cure Girl then begins to cry, and Betty's just sweating and a little gassed out. We see Manhwa laying there motionless, and his cool drip got destroyed. Betty then starts walking over towards Cure Girl, and she says that, like always, she has failed. But we hear Manhwa calling out to Betty, causing him to turn around. He says this hurts his self-esteem, asking if he's done already, as he acknowledges that he got him once. But he has forged his body for years with steel, and that he's looking down on it too much. Even if he's in this state, he's still the owner of the stronger gym. Betty begins screaming, as he goes in for another attack, punting Manhwa backwards into a wall. Manhwa starts to stand back up and laughs, saying that hurt more than he thought, and he's not saying that it's her fault, so she should stop crying like a baby. She says that she's the hero, yet she's being comforted by a citizen. As Betty raises his hand into the air, she pleads, saying that even if it's just this once, she wants it to activate. We see a purple aura starting to emanate from her hands. There's also a bright red light as well, and a giant explosion that soon follows. Betty is surprised, and Manhwa says that when it hits, it really hits. We see the aura starting to envelop him, and it even has a cross on his chest now. Cure Girl also has a little cross in her eye. We learn that her superpower is that it allows her to restore the health and heal the wounds of her target. And we finally learn that her name is Lee Ji-hyun. Manhwa laughs, saying that slaying a monster with a pretty girl who just awakened sure sounds fun. And Betty begins to sweat nervously, as Manhwa has one hell of an evil smile. Grabbing onto Betty's hand, he straight eats the piss out of him, saying that this is the absolute best. Betty crashes into the wall. He then rips out a giant pole out of the ground and says that he's gonna send him even further away this time. Betty then begins to scream once more and leaps off the ground directly towards Manhwa. But Manhwa swings the pole as if it was a bat, so hard that it even cracks the pole itself, sending the debris flying everywhere. But it also knocks Betty into a nearby bus. Manhwa asks why the hell the pole was so weak. And we hear Ki-woon calling out to him, telling him that it's time for the nuclear weapon delivery. As he throws something forward, Manhwa catches it. He says that he knew he smelled something, and since the year 1986, they have been boasting the history for 40 years of their tradition, which is Jangcheongdong. Ji-hyun is completely lost. And the simple explanation is that it's jumbo pig trotters. Manhwa begins eating away at it, and he says this is the shit, and you can just feel the protein hit every vessel in his body. And he can't stop eating pork. Betty is starting to regain consciousness and looks forward. Betty runs in, hitting Manhwa with a punch to the gut, but Manhwa smiles. Betty is surprised to see that he didn't actually hit him, but rather the jumbo pig trotter. Manhwa says that they say you should leave even dogs be when they're eating, and asks if maybe Betty wants to eat some too. And starts beating him, telling him that he should taste the protein. Then bonks him straight on the head. As Betty comes in for attacks, Manhwa starts sidestepping them, and then replies with his patented leg press kick. As Betty is still roaring, Manhwa gets close, grabbing onto his stomach, and puts the pig trotter in his mouth, slamming it down, saying that this is the mouth lot pull down. Betty tail swipes him straight in the face, and as he starts to spit out blood, Manhwa laughs, saying that he's not going to stop here, as they continue their fight. He and Betty start trading blow for blow with one another, and I honestly can't tell who's winning, because it's low-key very goofy. Ji-hyun then starts to activate her ability once more and uses heal. As we see it starting to form around Manhwa once more, treating his wounds. He then leaps into the air with the pig trotter behind him and lets out a primal scream. Betty does as well. And Manhwa comes down with an absolute bomb of an overhand attack, destroying the hell out of Betty. Ji-hyun just looks relieved, as Betty is laying on the floor. Manhwa tells her that her story starts now, saying that this is how she said it in the ad. Jihyun says that she had a premonition that something was different this time, and she starts to smile brightly, saying that he shouldn't joke at times like this. We then see her sign a contract for the stronger gym. With her bloody fingerprint, she puts it on the contract, only to be surprised, because he pulled it out of nowhere. And Manwha starts to have that shit-eating grin, saying that a new member has joined. Kiwoong's so happy, bro starts throwing that shit back. And Jihyun starts cringing, saying that she had an ominous premonition it seems. As Kiwoong is still throwing it back, we get a wide view of Betty taking a dirt nap. It then jumps to Manwha telling Jihyun to stop messing around and to lift with discipline. As she's doing a deadlift, she asks what's going on and why she's even doing this. We get a flashback to after he forcefully made her sign the contract and he held it up to her. She tried to explain that she didn't, and he says that unlimited personal training sessions for $100 a month and $1,300 for a whole year. He'll pay special care to the personal training for her. He says that she just got a huge deal, as she's now on her way to become the healthiest life form on this planet. We see the weights drop to the floor, and he asks what she thinks she's doing as she has to lift the barbell with discipline. As we see her in pain on the ground crying, she says that she just wants to go home, and he said this is easy, but it isn't. She can't even put strength into her hands anymore. She says on the topic of strength, the other day she got a huge burst of power, and she hasn't felt anything like that since. But she was able to use her powers again, and she can't figure out the reason, but says it could have to do with Manwha, but for some reason she calls him the Horse King. I think she meant Tiger King. Never mind, bro is a real person, what the hell, and that if she spends time with him, she might be able to find that power once more, but this should not be it. We then hear the cat from outside as it walks over brushing up against her leg. She asks the cat if it's comforting her, thanking it. Manwha gives the little cat a thumbs up, saying that this is some carrot and stick action. She then freaks out because Kiwoong puts a cold water bottle to the back of her neck. He says that the first time is always hard and that she should stay hydrated. She thanks him. He says that even if it's hard now, the sweat she spills will become her muscles in the future, and if she sows the seeds, they'll definitely grow. She laughs, saying indeed, as something drops out of his bag. She mentions it, and he says that this was supposed to be kept a secret. She asks what it is, and he says that it's a movie script that he's working on as an actor on the side. She asks if she can take a look, and he says of course. She's surprised that he's a villain and a minor one at that, saying that he must be disappointed that he isn't the main character. He says that he isn't, and it's a role that makes people hate him on and off the stage. But for a protagonist to shine, a villain needs to exist, and he finds fulfillment in playing his role, as villain roles are something he enjoys. She's so surprised that he has this kind of side to him and says that he sure is adorable. He has the strong mentality of someone who doesn't care about the opinion of others, and that she wants to get his autograph before he blows up. She then hears him making some heavy lifting sounds, and when she looks over, she sees him doing some very ass-to-grass squats. She asks if he's okay. Bro starts even making the ugly face, we've all been there in the gym. Manwha says he's a worthless piece of shit and asks if this is all he's got. She asks him what he's doing as he's getting crushed, and Kiwoong laughs, saying that this is it. She asks what he means, and Manwha still starts flaming the absolute hell out of him, asking if he's giving him that tough love. Kiwoong says just a bit more, and his wrist starts to look strained. Manwha tells him that he needs to make his elbow straight, asking why he's so weak, and that if he tells anybody that he's going to his gym, he's going to beat the shit out of him, because he's the package, and Kiwoong is just the luggage, and he needs to pack his shit and get out. I don't know what kind of boot camp screaming we got here, but it works, but Kiwoong says just a bit more, and then he overhead presses the entire barbell while screaming, and he starts begging Manwha to insult him more. Holy what a freak. Manwha asks if he wants him to work him to the point that he's shitting bloody diarrhea, his actual words. Jihyun is already thinking about going to a different series, while Kiwoong looks all proud and refreshed and lets out a crazy sigh. Her phone then starts to beep as he's still over there insulting him, and the masochist is sitting there enjoying it. It's a summon for a public support request, and that they're trying to fix the mess from last time. Kiwoong says it's time to head out then, and she tries to tell him that this is just for heroes, as he runs out the door before she can say it. She looks surprised, asking Manwha if he'll be alright since it might be dangerous. Manwha asks what she's talking about, saying that he thought she knew. and that Kiwoong is actually a B-class hero, which she did not know. Why did her alert only show one hero in the area then? We see a lot of the heroes working hard to clean up the debris, and it's anywhere between A rank to C rank heroes. Some of them are using telekinesis to lift blocks, while others like Kiwoong are just using brute force to clean the area up. Manhwa spots him, asking her if she's ready to get started. She says yes. We then hear a guy say holy shit as he recognizes Cure Girl. He says that he saw her face on the TikTok, as we see her doing some anime pose. But it's not just that, as she did a bunch of little trends to try to make the Heroes Association pop and dance to some very cutesy music. The guy asks if she can do it for him live, because he wants to put it on Instagram and it'll go viral. She tells him that she's on a mission right now, and he grabs her arm forcefully, telling her to stop lying, as he knows she doesn't do missions, and that she should just listen to him. She screams, and he says that if she won't do it, he says maybe she can shake her ass a little bit, and get some dinner. Manhwa yells out the food name, causing the guy to look over confused. He starts busting out the same exact moves that Jihyun was. And I'm just saying, his version looks way better. Bro is repping the Tiger King underwear. Fun fact, I have a pair of Tiger King underwear too. As he's dancing, they just start getting cringed out. And Manhwa asks if he wants to take him to dinner instead, and that he has some ideas in mind. Jihyun is getting a ton of second-hand embarrassment, and the guy walks over to Manhwa, grabbing onto his shirt, calling him a bastard. Manhwa says that they can go to whatever restaurant he wants, and the dude says that he knows it's him, saying that he's that bastard. Manhwa is confused, and we get a flashback to 3 years ago. Some kids are smoking in a no-smoking zone, saying that if something happens, they're saying that every time they do something, the kids cry and piss their pants begging for their parents. We see the guy giving us the flashback as we hear Manhwa calling out to them. He asks what they're doing in a smoke-free zone, saying that he'd like for them to put their cigarettes out, and bro is shirtless in the snow. One of the dudes asks if he's an exhibitionist or something, saying that it's winter. The blonde guy asks his friend why he's having such an attitude towards an adult, and apologizes to Manhwa, saying they didn't know it was a smoke-free zone. Manhwa then tells him that smoking kills their sperm count, and that he wants the rest of their cigarettes, and since it's over for him because of all of his steroid usage, he'll sacrifice the rest he's got in their honor. Then the guy rips something off, which is none other than the no smoking poster, and the dude laughs, saying that it's a smoke zone now, and then spits right on Manhwa's face. He then starts taunting him, saying that he must have gone deaf, asking if he can't hear him. As Manhwa sits there, this guy mistakes it as him being scared. The guy runs in, saying that he's going to hit him with a punch to get the tears out of his face. But the exact next panel is a puddle of piss on the floor and a cigarette in the middle. RIP bro is a psychopath. The guy is crying, and snot is running out of his nose, as Manhwa is giving him one hell of a death stare. Manhwa says he remembers him, asking if he finally quit smoking. The guy starts gritting his teeth, and he says that he's such a bastard for not being able to read the room, saying that he's been looking for him. As he's become much more of an adult since then, he begins releasing an orange aura, burning Manhwa where he's standing with a pillar of fire, which he calls cigarette fire for some reason. Jihyun yells for Manhwa, wondering what an awakened is doing to an unawakened. The guy says that he's not the same as before, and that he should probably receive some payback, and he can't even say anything now that he's burning alive. Manhwa then starts singing the song from when he was throwing out those moves earlier. Running through the fire, he hits the guy in the face, sending one of his teeth flying out. But it's not just that, the dude is now soaring through the air. He's continuing to sing the song and even adds little bits into it, making fun of how all of the dude's teeth are now on the floor. He says that he thought he could hurt him, who sculpted his muscles for years, with some power that he got without working. He doesn't even have common sense. But Jihyun is just saying no, he totally should have been burned. He wonders what kind of plot armor he has. We then hear another voice asking what this is, as they heard a commotion over here, saying he missed his stronger gym cutie, asking if this is fate. And the zesty warrior even throws out a heart. He was in the background of one of the earlier panels in a pink outfit. His name is a secret, so is his ability. But he is a field manager at the Hero Management Bureau, and says that he likes those with the Y chromosome. Never would have guessed. The Heart King says that it's been a while, and he's glad to see Jihyun, but she needs to get out of the way. Jihyun wonders what kind of story they have. And Heart King starts groping Mulwang's chest, saying that this body is so exciting and calls him darling. She can't believe that she's about to see some boy love, and wonders if this is the right series. But Mulwang is making an entirely different face compared to the Heart King. The Heart King then starts licking all over his shoulders, saying that it's so tasty, and Mulwang screams, running away, begging that somebody saves him, as the Heart King chases after him. Mulwang says that he doesn't want any part of this, as the Heart King yells, saying that he'll make him feel good like last time as Diddy taught him well. Jihyun asks what the hell he means by last time, and we hear the blonde-haired guy groaning. And she looks down to the floor, asking if he's alright, telling him not to move so soon. He knocks her backwards, telling her to stay the hell away from him, and that he won't be able to forgive Mulwang for what he's done to him. He starts to release even more fire, saying that he heard where he is, and that he should just wait, as he'll go burn his piece of shit gym to the ground. Jihyun's surprised that he's so angry, and tells him to wait, as he glares back at her. She asks what he means by burn it all, as she can't let him do that. He's the one who started it, and that he should be ashamed of himself, and he shouldn't use cowardly methods because he himself is lacking. He tells her to shut up, asking who she thinks she is, and if she starts yapping, he'll burn her mouth shut. She then starts hitting him with the superhuman law, as the Awaken will not use their abilities on civilians, but he already broke that, asking if he knows how severe the crime is, as it's obviously attempted murder, and if he tries to make more of a fuss, she'll stop him herself as a hero, but we see tears in her eyes. He runs at her with his fist on fire, saying that she's a bitch who only has her face, asking what she can even do. As she starts to put up her guard, afraid of the attack, she slowly opens her eyes after nothing happens, only to see Bro got covered in some weird yellow substance. She's surprised, wondering what in the Kelly is going on, and we hear a creature asking where the person with the Tanghulu is. As it starts leaving a trail behind, it says that its hands are shaking, and it feels dizzy, and it starts asking where the Tanghulu is, saying that it needs it now, and we see a giant weird little dragon slime hybrid standing before her. If you've watched till the end, comment, protein, to let me know. Subscribe for more videos like this, leave a like or a comment to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.